let's kick off from last week. So like we said, we had such an incredible response to this topic. We've been sharing our own personal stories, and we've had so many of you reach out, really starting to share your stories, which has been incredible, because we're just really grateful that we've had this space to really open up and start sharing what some women are experiencing behind the scenes. And so in this part 2, we wanted to invite some incredible, hard to hear. Can you hear me, panelists? Panelists can hear me?
And can everyone else hear? Sometimes it's...
Yeah, I think we're okay. Okay, we'll continue on.
Okay.
But what we really wanted to do today is bring in some incredible experts in different aspects of wellness, women's health, medical backgrounds, and really bring in some more science and their medical and I guess scientific backgrounds to also complement the real personal stories that we've really started to hear. And so we'd love to welcome on these incredible ladies. Do you want to give them a quick introduction?
Yeah, well, I'd actually love them to introduce themselves. So my first question actually is, who are you and why were you inspired, other than us asking you, why were you inspired to join this panel today? And let's just start with Michelle, because she's in our upper right as we're looking. So just give us, Michelle, a brief description of who you are, how you work with women in this way, women's health and hormone concerns. I was thinking, we keep saying issues, and I'm like, it's really not an issue. This is just it's part of life. And I think if we can start to get rid of some of the stigma around it, it's going to be so much easier for women to talk about this. So I know Michelle is great on touching on stuff like that. So Michelle, why don't you introduce yourself to us and tell us why you're here?
Hello, good morning, everybody. It's 2 a.m. here. The love is real. I am a doctor of naturopathy and Chinese medicine. I love women. I've always loved women, especially our journeys through our cycles and interacting with the natural world around us while going through our internal cycles as well as our external cycles. Fertility is a huge part of my clinical practice at the 𝗙𝗥𝗘𝗤𝗧𝗛𝗡 in London. Hormonal issues, which we also experience, not just because of our internal processes, but because of our, connection with the environment, which has a huge part to play, our food, all of the things. I'm just here to show my huge love and my love for all women that may experience these very normal things. I think that often we're marginalized to thinking that these aren't things that we all experience at some point in our life journey here, and they definitely are. So I'm just here to show my support and add anything that I can support you ladies with.
And Michelle, can you just talk a little bit about maybe your work in 5-element theory and philosophy? Because I know that we've been sharing quite a bit inside our Healy team group about it and how that kind of corresponds. I think that's an important piece of your puzzle and how you fit in and how you really relate to Healy in this sense.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm a great lover of 5-element philosophy. So in my acupuncture practice, within my Chinese medicine practice, I'm an integrated practitioner of 5-element philosophy, which is, the building blocks to the whole universe as we are. And I really believe that through the understanding of 5-element philosophy, the organ association, the emotional association, how those things link into a lot of pathology that we experience as women or as human beings in our day-to-day life, just by having that understanding, we can support some kind of balance in our everyday struggles that we may experience, especially with Healy, which is awesome. For all things 5-element, especially if you understand meridians, the organ associations, the emotional attributes which come for that, which, as we know, if there is a hormonal imbalance, it's usually the mental capacity and our hormonal expression that we experience imbalance in first and foremost. So that's why I think 5-element philosophy is so important in this panel.
Amazing. Thank you. And Hong, would you like to introduce yourself? Oh, hold on. You're muted. There we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes.
Good. Hello from the Gold Coast. So, who am I? It's a very big question. I still don't know who I am. So, I know my name is Hong, and I'm a retired Chinese medicine doctor, very much specialized in the psychology and the energetic part of the healing. I've seen about 45,000 one-on-one consultations. I've done 45,000 before I retired. And one of the very, very common thing, a very common cause of hormone imbalance in women is literally ignorance and self-abuse. It's shocking how much women abuse themselves and do not understand and do not know the consequences of this abuse have done to their body. Before the hormone goes out of whack, your mind's already gone out of whack. Before the mind gone out of whack, your energy is already gone out of whack. Your spirit, it has already left your body. It's hardly there. You have now reduced a beautiful, glorious, powerful being into a tiny little unit, tiny little machine. You reduce the glory of you into a tiny little biological machine that just makes things happen. So it's quite shocking. And it doesn't sound very pretty. Unfortunately, that's what's happening. Women talk shit about themselves all the time. From I am not good enough, to I am too fat, to I am ugly, to I don't have enough. You then trade your sex for power. You then trade sex for convenience, for trying to get rid of loneliness, for acceptance. You then traded the most sacred part of yourself for shit. And that's what happened. You talk shit to your body, and you think your body is not listening to you. You are made of 80 trillion cells. 80 trillion of your children are listening to you, accusing and abusing them every single day. So they play up, they rebel, and that's when you get sick. And this needs to hit home. It really needs to hit home. That's why I'm here today, to try to hit that home. So make sure you get that and understand that you are the most powerful being in the universe. God has chosen you and has given you this amazing capacity. You are a portal for the spirit, for the stars to come through your body, to go into the darkness, to incubate this beautiful God seed so you can give that seed to the light. Now, you don't need any approval from anybody. No one has to give you any approval. No one need to accept you in any way. You already got the stamp of approval from God, from the highest level of intelligence. You don't need shit from anyone. You already got it. Now, why do you need to ask for approval from anyone? It doesn't make any sense. You just have forgotten your glory. You have forgotten who you are, right? And then the tragic thing is you have forgotten the fact that you have forgotten. You have forgotten that you have forgotten. So we have to actually reverse engineer the whole thing. Dealing with the hormones is useless because the hormones are the shit on the floor. Your plumbing is broken. The toilet's not working. Plumbing's not working. Your endocrine system is it's intimately connected to your nervous system. And your nervous system is intimately connected to your psychological system. And psychological system is connected to the spirit. Now, if you just deal with the hormone and not deal with your energy, it's pretty fucked. Everyone is just going around in circles. Let's take HRT, let's take pills. You know, women just abuse the shit out of their body so much. They take pills so they don't have period. They take pills so they don't have night sweat. Hey, what about put your body from completely sympathetic overdrive into the parasympathetic state? Because your body cannot heal when it's in sympathetic. Sympathetic fight and flight. You are fighting and flying all the time. every single day, go from one project to another, one thought to another. This monkey mind is basically creating this terrible loop that bars you into a completely pro-inflammatory system all the time. I was just talking to a group of healers the other day. They're all having their uterus ripped out, have their ovaries cut out, and they still want to go out there to change the world. You can't change shit. You change yourself first. Fix yourself first. Yeah? So
yeah,
I'm get to hit home.
Well,
get home.
Yeah. Can I just come move in with you for maybe 6 months or so?
Wow.
I need to hear that every day. All the comments that were popping up in the comment section asking like, where are your live streams? They're going to come find them. So lots of women resonating with that. Thank you so much. I think both Sarah and I had chills multiple times during that. And I know Michelle was just over there like nodding her head like, yes, yes, yes. So thank you so much. We're so thankful that you could be here with us today. Just really, really excited about this panel. And Stacey, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, everybody. Yeah, massive 2 hands up to Hong there. She's speaking my language for sure, because a big part of my passion surrounding women's hormones is about us taking back control and getting out of that victim mentality, because our hormones are chemical messengers. That is your body speaking to you all day, every day, based on the environment we put our body into, based on the choices we're making every single day, based on what we're putting in our body, the people we're associating with, us being disconnected from our life purpose, not following our dreams, basically being stuck in that really disempowered state where someone of authority figure has the right to tell us, you know, your endometriosis is incurable. You will never conceive naturally. We're giving away our power all the time to these authorities. And yet, exactly what Hong's saying, all we need to do is come back to our body and love ourselves and listen to ourselves and then give our body what it needs. So that's something that I'm really, really passionate about, and drawing in the spiritual and emotional elements to our physical hormone journey. So I'm qualified as a naturopath nutritionist, and my journey started from my own hormone hell. But my hormone hell was really my blessing in disguise, you know, being told I couldn't conceive naturally and the endo, the PCOS. But it essentially changed my life. It was the wake-up call that I needed. It was my body screaming out, my soul screaming out, notice me, love me, take better care of me. So my biggest preach for you guys is that your hormonal imbalance is the best thing that could ever possibly happen to you. It is your body communicating with you, and it is your job to listen to it, not make it wrong. Don't be in a hurry to fix your hormones. Stop and listen to them.
Oh my gosh, amazing. And as we can already see with these incredible guests that we've got on, it's so much deeper than the symptom of hormone imbalance. And that's why I'm really excited to have you on and delve into that. And it really leads into one of my first questions, which you've already touched on beautifully. And you can just popcorn style in when you feel called. But what do we really think is underlying this? Like, why is this so prevalent that these symptoms of hormone imbalances, which are clearly a symptom of a much larger problem, why is it so prevalent? Why are so many women struggling?
I think because there's so many women completely disconnected from their wisdom. People don't know who we are. We're keeping up with the Jones. We're comparing ourselves to everyone else. We're trying to achieve. We're trying to put 1,001 things on our to-do list, and we're out of our body. We're completely ignoring our body. And so our body has to speak to us, and it can only do so through, in my opinion, symptoms and discomfort and pain. So it's your body's plea for help. Come back to me. Hear me, feel me, love me.
I so resonate with that. And did anyone else want to jump in on this conversation, on this point?
Yeah, I totally resonate with what Stacey's saying. I mean, we live in a system dominated by everything that is not yin, you know, and although we have both sides of the aspects, which is very important, the yin and the yang for the balance of life in general, we're often pigeonholed into survival mode, like the fight or flight mode, which activates so much within us that we don't get an opportunity to acknowledge or to take time to acknowledge. It's always like, fix this, do that, keep moving. You know, there's something wrong with me. I have to fix it. rather than acknowledging the wider environment around us that may have something to do with, the foundation point of the manifestation of symptoms that our body is showing. The body's a vessel for divinity. It speaks to us. Embodiment is wisdom. It's, it has so much innate power and ancestry within us if we just listen to it, which often we don't because we sit in the psyche because of the environment that we live in.
Yeah. My whole time, my head is just like, yes, I'm so grateful for this conversation. Hong, I know you're also on the same page, and the messages coming through are just incredible. This is really landing for people. Hong, did you have anything else to add into this point?
This is a very big question, a very big self-inquiry. Women really go into a very honest, very, very, very dedicated and very honest self-inquiry. So without judgment, first of all, you have to stop talking shit about yourself, stop judging yourself, and own your own divinity, knowing that you are this beautiful gift given to the world, and you can't give out what you don't have. You can't give out what you don't have. You can only give out what you have. If you're miserable inside, no matter how much you pretend not to be, you are giving out your misery, just packaged in some wrapping paper. Okay? You have to own your shit, because that shit is transformed. It can be transformed into most beautiful nutrient to grow your flower. Manure is used to grow flowers. Your shit can be transformed to grow your flower. A plastic flower is always going to be a plastic flower. You can spray perfume on it, but it is artificial fragrance. So grow your beautiful flower so your fragrance can go and benefit other people. So a very, very important subject for you to study, and you need to go and find it on the internet. There's a lot of teaching around these subjects. Your 5 layers of false ego. The 5 layers of your false identity. This is a huge subject. You might not even get to understand any of this or all of this in this lifetime, but it doesn't matter. You got to actually find who you are. Otherwise, you just have to come back and do it all over again and suffer all over again. So just understand that 5 layers of ego. First layer is I am what I own. I am my money. I am my name. I am my house. I am my possession. That's the first layer of your false reality. Second layer of your reality is I am my job. I am my profession. I am my career. I am what I achieve. That's your second layer of your false reality. The third layer is I am my thoughts, and I am what other people think of me. The fourth layer is I am my community. We are better than them. All of these layers put you into the cycle of fear. Fear of loss, fear of being judged, fear of not being good enough, fear of not having enough. Now, when you are trapped in the fear of cycle, you produce pathology, because fear is the most powerful poison to your system, to your endocrine system, to your immunity, to your chakras, to your energy system. If you're trapped in that level of fear, you can't grow. You can only think that you are growing, which is the greatest lie, which is the greatest destruction that you can ever do to your soul's evolution, if you pretend you're growing when you're not. This is the greatest destruction, and that needs to hit home. So women, if you want to have an uncomfortable conversation, you need to come clean. Come clean yourself. So many healers out there don't want to heal themselves. They don't want to heal their relationship with themselves. They don't want to know about what's going on within them. They just want to go and pretend that they can heal the world. Now, healing the world is not going to heal you. And to be honest, you can't heal the world. You just pretend that you are doing it. So you want to have an uncomfortable conversation, you got to come clean. Come really clean, otherwise you can't get anywhere. You can't go anywhere. You're just going around in circles. So, I am really, really happy.
Is that us? It's her. Okay, I'm going to actually just mute Hong because it looks like she's having some internet issues. I can't even mute her. Oh, there we go.
There we go. Such a pleasure because there was absolute gold streaming through there.
This channel for women to have all the space, the sacred space for these women. And this is a place where you compassion to yourself. Buddha said, have you guys lost me somewhere?
We lost you, but now you're back. It kind of glitched out there in the middle a little bit.
Where did you miss me?
Somewhere around needing to come clean.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we had someone ask, what does that mean?
Come clean means you just be very honest with yourself. Heal your relationship with your mother. Heal your relationship with yourself. Stop hating yourself. Stop blaming yourself. Stop judging yourself. Don't be afraid to come clean. Don't be afraid to see what you've done to yourself. Remember, everything you've done, everything that you have ever created is created by you and you only. If you blame your husband for it, you blame your mother for it, or you blame your father for it, or you blame your school teacher for it, you can't do anything. You can't grow because now the button is in someone else's hand. They can push your button whenever they want to, and you're just a puppet that you just react to whenever somebody pushes the button on you. So there's a lot of unhealed stuff within you. If you have ever traded your sex for convenience or for safety or for power or to get somewhere quickly or whatever, then that person has power over you. That person can use you as a sexual fantasy, and then you're leaking energy every day, and no wonder you're tired. Now, many women who suffer from pelvic inflammatory disease, suffer from fibroids, suffer from thyroid problems, autoimmunity. It's all created by self-conflict. You are having a war within your body every single second of every day. You're fighting against yourself. That's why we have so many autoimmune systems going on. Also, so many autoimmune disease going on, from rheumatoid arthritis to thyroiditis, to Hashimoto's, to Graves' disease, to polycystic ovaries, to endometriosis. All of this, it's all to do with you disowning yourself. Yeah. Now, go and heal your relationship with yourself and heal your relationship with your own mother. If you cannot have compassion towards your own mother, you have no compassion at all. You just pretend you have compassion towards somebody else. Heal your relationship with your mother, with your father, with your siblings. Start with your family. Now, how many people run away from their family and go and create this tribe somewhere else and calling this tribe my soul tribe and this tribe, that tribe? Your family is your soul tribe. Otherwise, you will not have the same blood running in your vein. So go back to your core. And they are the hardest people to work with. They are the hardest people to work with because you have shown the worst part of yourself to them and they have shown the worst part of themselves to you. So you know exactly what kind of shit you have and you can help each other out. Transform yourself. Now, when you are belonging to that tribe, you're basically stuck in that 4 layers of ego. You're completely stuck in that circle of you need to be liked by people. You need to somehow get accepted by people. Now, within your family, you know you have already chosen them as your family. So don't run away from them. Come clean. Go apologize. Go make things, into peace. Go apologize to yourself, apologize to each other, and say, hey, let's work together. Let's create this little peace in our family. Let's create this peace in our relationship, in our marriage. Because there's no global peace until you achieve your own peace.
Amazing. I feel like this is a whole webinar. I think this could be a whole webinar on its own. So the next question is, and I think maybe we'll kind of start directing these at panelists. I would love to be here for 4 hours. Like, there's so much amazing information. But so I will direct this one to Stacey. So one of the things that I've been noticing is that there seems to be so much mystery and unknown around this. So those of us that have been dealing with this for years and years, we've been to doctor after doctor after doctor. We've seen wellness practitioner after wellness practitioner after wellness practitioner. And I know that we've touched on some really amazing foundational reasons why this is happening on this webinar already, which is incredible. And then, of course, there goes Stacey. Okay, Michelle, I'm sending this one to you. So my question is, one of the things that's been so frustrating for me is I feel like I get a different answer from every person that I go to. And there seems to be so much unknown about the women's body. So Stacey, we're going to send this one to Michelle because you kind of popped out there for a minute.
Sorry.
It's okay. No worries. We'll get you on the next one. So my question is, why is this so mysterious? Why is it so complex? Why is it so difficult for women to get answers on this? And, and again, I want to say, like, I feel like each and every one of you have given an amazing foundational answer to what's really at the root cause of this. This question is more kind of targeted towards why are doctors and wellness practitioners unable to give clear directions as to what to do to fix this stuff? And maybe fix isn't even the right word. To heal, guide this journey.
Well, I think that to start with, I have to mirror what Hong said, is that only we know our bodies. Like, you can have all the medical outside perspectives that you want, but you don't know the individual's journey. You don't know the root foundational causes, the emotional involvement, the ancestral involvement, the spiritual involvement in the imbalances that's happening in that body. And we often give like a 2.5 response, based on scientific studies or everything that really have nothing to do with the innate potency or power or lack of that particular person. So it's really hard to direct or measure somebody's hormonal responses to something when you've not lived in their shoes and you don't really understand where they're coming from or the breaks in the foundation of their story. And we often approach things like in the medical profession or in the wellness profession from things that we acknowledge and that we can measure. But often these things can't be measured because it has to come down to the innate responsibility of the person, and their spiritual responsibility, their spiritual journey, where they're at, how that's manifesting in their body. And that's another thing. I think that we predominantly live in the psyche. We're always on a go, go, go. How can I improve? How can I improve? Without going back to the blueprints and really fixing the foundations of our building before adding the blocks on, and those foundations are often extremely rocky. We're not honest about them, especially in the manifestation of the way the world is, media-wise, social media-wise. It's all about showing face. It's not really about tuning into that really deep honesty about what's going on for you. And when you approach a professional about that, you can take all the blood you want. You can have all the understanding of the physiology of the body you want, but you don't necessarily have that direct understanding of what that person is going through or has been through and how that is manifesting in the body emotionally, physically. There's no root foundations. There's just Google.
Yeah. One of the things I think that I see a lot, and this is just kind of a follow-up to this question for you, is we get frustrated. We'll go to a medical professional and they'll give us some kind of protocol and we'll follow it for a couple of weeks. And then it's like, we're frustrated that it's not working and we go on to the next. So I think this kind of ties in with what you were talking about. Can you give some advice or some reflection on that?
There's not. I mean, we are our own individual thread of consciousness. Divinity comes through us in its own individual fractal of expression. It is for us how it's meant to be expressed and nobody else. And only you can speak on your journey, where you've come from, experiences that may pollute the internal environment and manifest in a certain way. So it's not a broad scape, as everybody says, although we are, a piece of the bigger puzzle. We are the whole puzzle. We are the whole puzzle of the universe. But our piece fits in that puzzle in different ways. And it's really understanding the curves and the measures of your piece that allow you to understand how your body manifests certain things.
Amazing. Thank you.
And I guess my next question, and we'll go to Stacey, because you're back with us. Why do you think it is that women feel so alone in this journey? I mean, I'm sure you, in your profession, greet a lot of women. Why do you think women feel so alone about it and keep it quite secretive? We've found we're hearing a lot of women say, I felt like I couldn't tell anyone about these things, and now we're opening up that conversation. Why do you think it is?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of it's got to do with self-shame, and we get stuck in that vibration of thinking there's something wrong with us, and then we isolate ourselves thinking that we're the only person in the world experiencing this because we're too embarrassed to share and open up. Of course, there is that whole disconnect in the masculine not understanding the feminine not understanding the masculine, and how they can support one another. So that creates a disconnect in itself. I think a lot of it has got to do with the lack of teamwork in regards to orthodox mainstream medical medicine and the holistic therapies. I mean, there seems to be this competition going on, but we have completely different skill sets. If we work together, the treatment outcomes for women would be phenomenal, and yet there's this bashing of every other, and it really just cuts women off from all avenues of help. And yeah, I think the self-shaming is a big one, though. It's, we're like, a couple of other women touched on, we're constantly comparing ourselves to other people. Social media, we're all trying to be something we're essentially not. We're not really accepting ourselves and our truth and who we are at our core. And so we're rejecting ourselves. And so it wouldn't matter what showed up in our body, we would think it was wrong.
Wow. I want to just share this comment from Kristen Atkins, who is a dear friend of mine and also happens to be a Western medicine doctor who works with women primarily, in particular, really high-risk pregnancies. And she's a doctor at Howard University. So she says, as a Western-trained medical professional in the women's health arena, we lump everything into the same category that doesn't take into account each individual person's perspective. I also believe that from a scientific perspective, we look at what is normal, but who is here to say that these experiences are normal? So, I recognize we've got a bunch of alternative, and not even alternative, but Eastern medicine practitioners here, and I guess I'll say alternative. It doesn't sound like it's quite the right word for what yeah. So I recognize, that's great. Thank you, Kristen, for chiming in on that. So I want to bring this now into this amazing device, 𝗙𝗧, that we're all so passionate about and that we're here for. I'd love to hear from each of you, actually. Why is 𝗙𝗧 an important piece of this puzzle? And how can it, well, I'll just leave it at that. Because I think I could put some words out there, but why is 𝗙𝗧 an important piece of this puzzle? And maybe Hong, we'll go to you first.
Okay. 𝗙𝗧 is a really powerful tool for self-cultivation. So you just imagine that you go to a place where, like a library, with 144,000 volumes of books, and you need to basically read 5 volumes. You need to read 5 books, but you don't know which 5 you need. So impossible for you to go and select 5 out of 144,000 of them. So you won't be able to do it because it's beyond your ability to do it. So 𝗙𝗧 has the ability to actually match the vibration of your current state. We are now, before I say anything, actually, I have to actually just make a statement that when we use Hlae, we actually have to have a major paradigm shift. This paradigm shift is from us being a body with an energy field to the fact that we are an energy field with a body. So we are not a body with an energy field. Okay, that's our illusion. Because we are 99.999% space. I mean, it's beyond comprehension, right? When you look at this flesh, when you look at this hand and this face, and you think that we are actually solid, but we are not. We are just protons and neutrons and electrons waving around. We are actually quantum waves. So, and then 99.9% of us is actually space. And so we are actually not this body with an energy field. We are actually the energy field with the body. So Chinese medicine, we talk about the three treasures, the body and the mind and the spirit. When those three treasures are not together, you get sick. The spirit wants to experience itself in your body. And your body can't heal without the spirit. In 1997, when I went back to China to study my master's degree in Chinese medicine, before I left, my 102-year-old master gave me a note before I came home. The note has a few words on it, just a few words. It says, 治人,治病先治人, which means that before you can treat a person, or before you can treat a disease, you must heal the person. But before you heal the person, you must heal the heart. Before you heal the heart, you must call back the spirit. That's the 6 lines or words he gave me before I left China. And then he gave me another little note. It says, 下医治病,上医治人, means the doctor who treats disease is an inferior doctor. The doctor who helps people heal themselves is a superior doctor. Now, those few words gave me the wisdom to create the most successful holistic clinic in Australia. That's why I could retire at the age of 44. So please do not separate those 3 treasures. They have to be together, your body, your mind, your spirit. That branch out into 12 different treasures, more deeper into it. But in the bigger picture, make sure you know that. So you are an energy field with a body. That's how Hlae comes into it. So Hlae is able to pick 5 of the most resonating frequencies with your energy field and put that energy together into coherence. Otherwise, you're this chaotic energy field. So Hlae is able to help you fine-tune your radio station so you get rid of all the statics so you could hear the clear sound from your soul. So your soul, your spirit can come into your body. Now, if a woman is very receptive, and you should be, because that's the nature of woman, receptivity is your name. Flexibility, softness, surrendering, that's your name. That's the name of being a woman. So own that womanhood. Own that. And that's how Hlae can help you, is to soften you, is to tell your energy field, hey, these are so chaotic. Let's put that into harmonic resonance. So when your energy field is harmonizing, you are now listening to a symphony orchestra rather than a madhouse full of screaming people. So one of the very important things is for you not to sensationalize Hlae. Hlae is not something that is going to replace your self-cultivation practice. Hlae can't do self-inquiry for you. Hlae can't get you into a state of enlightenment. You have to do the job. Remember, no matter how hungry you are, nobody can eat on your behalf to satisfy your hunger. You have to eat it. So don't sensationalize it. Unfortunately, with network marketing, one of the things is trap people into that sensitization, which really misguides people again into that. It is a powerful tool, incredibly powerful if you know how to use it. And so establish a fantastic relationship with it. The more you use it, the smarter it becomes. It's a smart machine. It has this quantum sensor. It has got a colorful mirror in it. So this mirror is able to tune out all the noises and put you into this scalar wave state, which is 0 point state. So you can then create all possibility, whatever you want to create. But it's a double-edged sword. Your consciousness is more powerful than the quantum sensor itself. So make sure you don't just automatically use it. It doesn't matter what you do. You can go to yoga, meditation, use healing. If you use it mechanically, you're just like a robot. It's not long-lasting. It's not going to give you a substantial, long-lasting result. It might give you a bit of a hype, but then it will go away again. So make sure you use it as a tool to support your self-cultivation practice, to raise the level of your own consciousness. And the healer is able to get rid of the most prominent resonance and put it into harmonic resonance. Then it will bring up another 5 or bring up another 5. Just keep cleaning your house, keep cleaning it out until you are able to be integrated. So when you are able to integrate your body and mind and soul together, that's when you can go up another level. You might go from fear to courage. And then when you're at the level of courage, you can then go from the courage to the state of love. So it's a ladder. It's a level of consciousness. We have 12 levels we need to go up to. And most people are still in level bloody 0.
Amazing. I love that. Definitely for me, the intention behind using Healy has been one of the most powerful things for me, to see how Healy responds, and then exactly what you're talking about, that developing the relationship with Healy as this incredible tool for me to, as part of this whole routine of things that I do, to up-level my consciousness, my physical body, my spiritual body, my emotional body, all of that. So I love that. Michelle, for you, why is Healy such an important piece of this puzzle?
Hello. Yeah, so much to what Hong was saying, Healy is amazing in the resonating of frequencies that are out of balance, like excessively out of balance, which a lot of us are, just mirroring the same thing. And what I was saying about our thread of consciousness, when I say about the thread of consciousness, I mean the pure connection of mind, body, and spirit, without the segregation of all those things, because often we work the muscles of all of those individual things without realizing that they all need to come together in order to support and provide, a foundation for the spirit. Our body is just a chariot for the immortal soul. Essentially, it's nothing more or nothing less. So with Healy, it really brings up, for me, the way I use my Healy, it brings up for me where I'm not integrity in my frequencies that day, what's going on in my body, and how I can access those to bring those back into balance, whilst also being aware that I'm just trying to reconnect all the things. I'm not trying to fix necessarily, the individual programs that Healy gives us, like our hormones or our weight or anything that is necessarily to do with the foundational prospect at hand. It's helping to bring our frequencies, our electronic, magnetism back to the understanding that we are just one frequency of the soul. So anything that's out of integrity of that it really just supports aiding that, while I also provide my own understanding of consciousness, to support the Healy resonance in order to bring that all back and support some kind of, understanding of what's out of balance that day or what I need to work on. So that's how I use my Healy.
Amazing. And Stacey, do you want to talk about why you feel like Healy is such an important piece of this puzzle?
Yeah, absolutely. So the word unison really comes to mind based on what these ladies are talking about. I totally agree. It's almost like it's the glue that brings all our pieces together and helps them to function as a whole. And for me, knowing full well that the emotional and spiritual elements to physical health are just as important, Healy's kind of like a missing link. And I like to talk to a lot of my clients about it as it's kind of like a health cheat in the best possible way, because this is something that is really quite effortless to use and utilize in your daily self-care regime. And we know that women who have been suffering and struggling for such a long time, they feel overwhelmed. There's all these experts to follow. There's all these things we shouldn't be doing. And it's so overwhelming not knowing what it is that you need to take a step forward in doing. And so I feel like this is a simple, gentle, easy thing they can implement into their lifestyle, which then helps grow their consciousness, their confidence in themselves, their ability to understand their body first. So it gives us that trust and ability to believe in our body again. So it's such a tiny, it is one piece of a big jigsaw puzzle when it comes to healing our body and healing our hormones, but it's such a vital piece because I believe it gives women the confidence to move forward and go, I have a tool that is pretty easy to use and I can believe in myself again. And that's what I love about it.
I love that. So many people don't have the resonance. And, obviously for me, like when I'm working with my Healy, I am doing exactly what all of you are talking about, which is just, I've built that relationship with my Healy, and I'm trusting that as I'm setting the intention of with what do I have the greatest resonance now to heal my body or to help my consciousness, then Healy's giving me back those program recommendations. But for the people who are watching this webinar that don't have a Healy resonance, that have one of the other models of Healy, can each of you speak to programs that you found, perhaps the non-obvious programs that people could run to begin to balance some of these hormone issues? I know for me, I'm always surprised at what Healy actually recommends me to run, even when I'm setting the intention of hormone balancing. But I would love for each of you to just share from your perspective, maybe some non-obvious Healy programs for those that don't have the resonance and aren't able to just use the analysis feature. Hong, do you want to begin?
My suggestion is don't waste your time. Go and get resonance.
That's a good investment.
Yeah, you're worth it. Stop buying a couple pairs of shoes and go and get resonance. You got no excuses. Your body is so precious. Like, why are you not going to get the resonance? It's doing an amazing, it's a smart unit. It's like a personal healer that is going to tell you what you need at this moment in time. Otherwise, you're just going to surf in the jungles and get lost in the jungles and you can't even see the trees. So, but for now, for those who haven't got it yet, try to start with, for me, I'm a Chinese acupuncturist and a Chinese meridian therapist. To start with, use the downward causation. So work on the spirits, work on the energetics, run your bioenergetic frequency first, and then go into the meridians, go to the chakras before you go into the individuals. So just remember you are a quantum energy field. You are an energy field to start with. So by the time that you have pelvic inflammatory disease, all your chakras is out of whack, all your nervous system is out of whack, your endocrine system is out of whack, your energy system is out of whack, your meridian is out of whack, your bioenergetic is out of whack. So go backwards, reverse engineer it. Work on the bioenergetic field, your chakras, and your meridians first. And also, some people are very stuck with the labels. I guess most people are. When you can't sleep, you have insomnia, you think, oh, well, I'll just run sleep. And sometimes that doesn't work because your sleep, your insomnia it's not caused by the chemicals that it's not helping you to sleep. It might be geopathic stress. It might be the fact that you're holding on to anger because you had a fight with someone. It might be you hated somebody. It might be you're jealous of someone. And so all of that causes a lot of chaotic frequencies in your body. And that's what I mean by if you have a resonance, it can actually pick it up and tell you what's going on. And so you can then, scan yourself twice, pick up the top one, and then go into the one, and then go and, pick up the top one of the 5 again. And so that will zoom it in and trust it. The quantum sensor is very accurate. Please trust it. It's much smarter than your own brain.
Lovely. And Michelle, what about you?
She just said it all. So that's exactly what I was going to say, is before we start going to the other programs, we really have to fix what's going on energetically. So definitely with the chakras, definitely with the bioenergetic balance, and even some protection programs, because we may be, affected by environmental things that have a direct impact on how we react to things, So before you start going into any meridian cycles or stuff like that, which is also useful because, like Hong just said, things like anger, which could be to do with the liver. But first of all, you have to go to the energetics of that, which come from a deeper energetic understanding of our human form. So really going to those energetic values in the resonance, which are amazing, by the way, and it is much smarter than us. Healy knows everything. So it's scary. It's actually a bit scary. But really, sinking into the chakras, the bioenergetic balance, and anything that you feel like is throwing off your energetic field before you start dealing with what you perceive is the actual pathological issue, because it's probably just a symptom. It's a symptom. Important. It's a symptom of what is deeper underlying, which is usually energetic.
Yeah, so important, because I think, we all get our Heelys, and it's like we've identified what the thing is that's wrong with us, and we want to go straight to that program and then run it every single day, thinking it's going to fix the thing. And I think in 2 months of running my Heely every day, well, coming up on 3 months of running my Heely every day, hormones has come up maybe twice in all that time of running, running Heely. So thank you. Stacey, how about you?
I totally agree with both of what those lovely women said. It's always much bigger than, the symptom that meets the eye. But I guess for those people who, we all have access to the gold programs, every single one of us. So don't underestimate the power of the release program under the gold for hormones, because I truly believe that, our two major drivers of disease is toxicity, and that release program I feel is a really beautiful, gentle way to help move out toxins, and you can get a lot of relief, be it from our cystic skin problems, our hormonal headaches, heavy painful periods. So that's a good one to go for those people who are still yet to jump in and grab the resonance, which I again highly recommend you do, because your health is your most valuable asset, and that's where we should be investing most of our time and money into.
Beautiful. Yeah, thank you so much for that. I can really relate to that as well in my own journey when my Heely arrived, and when I spoke to Leah, and she was like, what did, when you first started, remember? She was like, what did you run? Did you use? And exactly what you said, I was like, I really cultivated that trust with the Heely and used what came up, and it was completely not what I thought it would be, but that was the very thing that I needed, obviously, to find more balance. So I deeply resonate with that. So I guess our last question to sort of bring it home for the viewers, who, by the way, are getting so much value out of it. So deeply grateful for your time, everyone on. But from your experience, what is a practical piece of advice or, something practical that the viewers can take away to really start supporting their hormonal health and just general well-being and optimization? And I mean, we could start again with Hong, because I think she wanted to jump in.
Okay, so just before I start answer this question, I just want to add on to something about the chakras, because the woman's endocrine system is just so intimately connected to your chakras. All your adrenal cortex hormones and your sex hormones, your follicle stimulating hormones, your estrogen, progesterone, your your testosterone, they're all very much associated with your first two, survival, sex center, chakra. So make sure you clean that on the day-to-day, clean your chakra on a day-to-day basis. Your pancreas, insulin, and your glucagon with your liver, it's all to do with your second power center chakra, and your thymus gland, which releases T lymphocyte associated with your heart chakra, and your TSH, which is your thyroid hormone. It's very much to do with your throat chakra, and then your pituitary gland, ACTH. They're all related to your third eye. And then your pineal is very much to do with all your sleeping hormones, feel good hormones like melatonins and serotonins and stuff. So all of your 7 chakras are intimately related to all your hormones. Okay, it's basically they're together. And in Chinese medicine, we have this governing channel and we have the conception channel, which your chakra is basically intimately connected with that as well. And so clean the chakra, and that's what that will lead to my next, to answer your question, Sarah. It's personal practice. Personal practice. On a day-to-day basis, you really have to dedicate some time. It's not fair not to. You have to dedicate some time on self-cultivation, on self-care. If you don't do anything to care about yourself, then how do you expect yourself to last? How do you expect your body not to play up? Your body is going to play up if you don't look after it, right? So, yeah, pay attention to your thoughts and your words and the choices you make, because they are the three of the most powerful creative things that you have in you. The 3 tools of creation is what you're thinking, what you are saying, and what you are doing, what you are choosing. So whatever you say to yourself, whatever you're thinking about yourself, whatever the choices you make to put in your mouth or to put that tablet into your mouth. When you go to see a doctor, Leah was just saying that you go to one wellness practitioner, one doctor to another. Now, to be honest with you, they don't actually have your best interest at heart. This is pretty harsh to say. Very, very few benevolent people out there. And that's why it's really good that you guys are creating a beautiful community here, because you got to really look out for each other. You got to look out for yourself, and you got to look out for each other. And the reason why they are there violating your ignorance is because you give your power away to them. Nobody knows your body more than you know your body, but you just think that they are specialists. You go to a man who is a specialist, who is a gynecologist, who has no fucking idea how you feel, and give your power to him, thinking that he knows more than you do about your body. And the only thing he knows how to do is to measure your blood and give you a tablet. You think that's what you are worth? That's self-abuse. So let that sink in. It doesn't sound very pretty, but this is what's going on. I've seen so many women who have hysterectomy, and they just, most of them don't even need it. They just trust the system. Do you really think the system wants you to be better? Think about it. Do you think the drug company wants you to be better? Do you think the doctors are trained by the drug company to sell drugs? Or are they trained to get you better? You need to take that power back into your own hands. You are responsible. You are completely 125% responsible for your own health. And nobody knows more than you do about your health. Please don't hand your power to somebody else so easily, so quickly. Nobody knows more than you do about you. So get back that self-awareness. You know, it's really, really important. And dedicate time for self-cultivation practice on a day-to-day basis. I can share mine with you. There's so many things that you can do. People think that, oh, you have to go away, you have to go somewhere, sit in a cave and meditate. No, you can meditate right now. You can be aware of yourself right now. Now I'm speaking to you. I can be aware, like I'm aware of where I am. I'm aware of my autonomic system, pumping, purifying, releasing, processing, everything for me right now. I'm not a robot that everything just runs for me without me acknowledging the fact that it's doing it. It's so divine. It's crazy. 80 trillion cell is going through all the releasing, processing, regenerating, terminating, controlling, generating itself constantly, every second of every day. So you are an absolute amazing being. So don't just ignore it. So before I go to bed at night, I go and thank my body. I talk to all my organs. I go from one organ to another, and I talk to all my organs. And I apologize to my organs when I did not look after that organ on that particular day. Because your organs hold all your emotions. Every organ represents a particular emotion. Your sadness and grief sadness go into the heart. The fear also goes into the heart, contract. Your grief goes into the lung. The anger goes into the liver. The lack of courage also goes into the gallbladder. Fear also goes into the kidneys. Worries goes into your stomach and your spleen. No wonder your lymphatic system is fucked up, because you worry all the time. You're getting anxious all the time, right? So pay attention to your day. If you let your day go without paying attention to it, you're just like a robot, no different from a computer. Got no consciousness, no awareness. Just remember this, your awareness, your presence is your building block of your consciousness. Consciousness is like a house. And the presence and the self-awareness is like the brick that you need to build your house. You can't build your house without the bricks. So your presence, your self-awareness are the bricks. They are the building blocks. Just like your amino acid is the building block of your protein. We are no different in energy field. Energy body, no different from our physical body. We all have building blocks. So pay attention to yourself. So before you go to bed, talk to your organ. Review what you've done for that day. Did you get jealous of someone? Did you get angry with someone? Were you trapped in fear of something? Did you self-sabotage again? Did you talk shit about yourself? Do you need to apologize to your liver for trashing your liver by eating poisonous food, by poisoning yourself with toxic thoughts? Did you say to yourself, I'm not good enough today? If you did, please apologize. Apologize to your organs. Apologize to your cells. So every night before you go to bed, if you have a shower, you're having a shower, you're getting rid of the dust, the dirt, and sweat and stuff. You can also get rid of all your negative emotions. Water remembers things. Water holds information. Water is a messenger of energy. So when you're having a shower, have a mental shower. Get rid of all your negative bullshit, itchy stuff, and give it to the Mother Earth. The Mother Earth loves your negative emotion as a compost. It loves the negative emotion. It has the ability to transform your negative emotion into something for it to use again. It has a perfect, powerful recycling process, and it loves to take your organic emotions. So communicate with the Mother Earth. It will take it away. She will take it away from you, and she will transform you. And then you just welcome it back. The gratitude, the love, the fact that you are alive, the fact that you are a divinity, you are a divine being with infinite creative power. All of that will come back to you if you ask for it. In fact, you don't even have to ask for it. You just have to acknowledge it. It's giving it to you anyway, whether you like it or not. So
wow.
One of the things that is really powerful that everyone can do in the morning, when you wake up in the morning, is to put yourself into a butterfly position, the yoga position, butterfly position, before you get up. Okay, put your knee up and then just flip down, heel to heel, open up like a butterfly. So butterfly is a symbol of rebirth. So in the morning, you've been given another opportunity to wake up again. You've been given another opportunity to experience the divinity again. The butterfly position is also a surrendering position. It's also an opening position. It opens up all your valve inside your stomach. it also opens up your pelvic area, your vagina canal. It allows you to center yourself and ground yourself. So in the morning, I do my ritual. First thing I say is I put my right hand on my heart, my left hand on my throat, which covers this whole area called the sea of the soul in Chinese medicine, which is basically your throat chakra, your thymus, and your heart. And you say, I am grateful for your love. I'm grateful for your love. I'm here and I am that I am. Right? I am that I am is the most powerful statement. You are declaring that I am here. I have answered the call of the divine. I am here to serve a certain purpose. And then you go and you put two of your hands on your ovary. Ovary. This is the incubation of your seed, the receiver. You put your hand on your ovary and you say to yourself, I allow myself to love me in all aspects of my being. I allow myself to love me in all aspects of my being. So many women don't allow themselves to love themselves. They judge themselves too much, that they don't love themselves. They don't allow themselves to love themselves. So do that to your ovary. Then you put your hand on your uterus. And then you say to yourself that I'm unified in all perceptions of love. Your uterus is one of the most powerful things in this universe. It's a portal for spirit to come through. It's a very dark place. So own that dark place. When you deny the dark place, you also deny the light at the same time. And so make sure you connect to that uterus of yours. And then just put your hand on your third eye and put another hand on the top, which is your pineal gland. And you say to yourself, I am the divine being with infinite creative power. And I acknowledge this power for the highest good of all. And at the same time, you are aware that your divine creator is there witnessing you as well. So every morning you calibrate at that higher vibration, you anchor yourself in that reality, your body is going to start healing. This is a very powerful ritual, but you got to do it consciously. You can't do it mechanically. You got to do it, bring your complete presence into it. And that will just bring all the beautiful creative power to come to you.
So we will, everyone, I will have my VA actually come into this live stream and transcribe Hong's practice, and we will drop it in the event, her morning and evening practice, and we'll drop it into the event. Hong, I'll probably just send it over to you to make sure that we didn't miss anything and you can add anything in that you want to add. And then we'll share that. Thank you so much for that. It's so powerful. I'm like, as you were saying it, I was like, I have a new thing. This is starting.
We'll hold each other accountable.
Okay.
Beautiful practices, and I can imagine what I love about them is they're quite simple but so powerful, and everything we're sharing keeps coming back to that real self-care and real self-love, not as a word but as a lived practice. And I can't wait to start doing that. Thank you so much, Hong. Michelle, do share your tip or piece of advice or practical thing that these women can do as well.
Okay, well, I think Hong just said it all, so thank you for that. But really sinking into the understanding of the chakras, especially what Hong said, the first and second chakra, it's the sacral chakra is responsible for our pleasure, just being a woman, just being alive and, feeling happy in this world and, really understanding if we are happy, and if we're not happy, then why aren't we happy? So really sinking into the energetic centers and understanding their portals of our divinity and what they carry for you and how they manifest for you emotionally, physically, in all aspects of your life is really important. Spiritual hygiene is an absolute must. But as for me, my practice is about embodiment because I'm fulfilling this body. So really sinking into the embodiment, like with the sacral chakra, and asking your body what it wants. It is an innate being full of immense wisdom, full of water, like what Hong was saying, carrying messages from ancestral lineages you probably don't even know exist, messages from divinity that you may not be able to tap into. So really just asking yourself what you want. And for me, like, my embodiment practice and my spiritual hygiene may change every week, depending on what my body needs at that time. When I sink into the potency of that and really just thinking that, and it's really unique to everyone. It's really unique what your body needs, because we're all unique fractals of divinity. So really just pulling in all the power from the external sources that you give away so much to every day to support your foundations of power, and realizing that your spirit lives here. It's here, and only what you're receiving from the divine is what you're receiving into this capsulated, body of flesh. So really take time, no matter what your practice chooses to be, to cultivate some spiritual hygiene, to just sink into embodiment, to ask your body what it needs, because the body's not going to, when you sink into embodiment, the body's not going to be like, when you ask your body, oh, hey, what do you need today? It's not going to be like, oh, hey, Mish, I need a cup of coffee, or I need some water, or I need that smoothie this morning. It may come to you in images, it may come to you in feelings, but do not ever discredit the wisdom, of the body. It knows more than your mind could ever do. So whatever your practice is, whatever your uniquity is to be on this state of earth, ask your body what it needs, because you will get an answer. But definitely research into your energetic capacity, really understand the elements of your chakras, really understand the potency of your internal organs, because they're not just things, they're not just parts of the car that you drive every day. They have very real responsibilities that have to do with spirituality, that have to do with our emotional capacity. So really just giving thanks for those and sinking into everything that you are, the amazingness that you are, but only that you are, because we all have different fingerprints. So what's good for me may not be good for you. What's good for you may not be good for me. Just really sink into what you've been given and how that is going to benefit you,
Thank you, Michelle. That's so powerful. And that seems to be, again, this common theme is like bringing the power and bringing the self-responsibility just back here, home into the body, and let that inform our decisions. We'll put the film in the background again. And Lucky Last, the beautiful Stacey, if you want to share a beautiful, practical take home.
And complement what those beautiful ladies have just shared. I think we just need to remind ourselves that health and happiness is your divine right, but it is your responsibility to take it and claim it. And I think we suffer dis-ease and uncomfortable symptoms when we are not truly following our purpose, not following our passions, not really stepping into our power. And really all it comes back down to is believing that we're worthy, believing in ourselves. And I think one of the biggest things for me was realizing that every single one person on this human being has gifts and is here for a reason and a purpose. And when we let the ego get in the way and tell us that we're not enough and we're not good enough, it basically steers it off that path. And if we can just stop making it about ourselves and go, you know what, it's not about me. When we make it about me and go, that's where we suffer. But when we go, I've been given gifts, my job is just to follow them and give them and share them. And that's when we are most powerful. So don't let the ego run the stories about you not being good enough or you not being enough, because you are just by being you. So stop believing those lies and just step into your power and allow yourself to be guided. Follow your happiness, follow your passions, and that's really all you need to do to be healthy in this lifetime, in my opinion.
Oh, amazing.
We have a couple of questions, that I think are important to ask. This came up a couple of times. Hong, if you do have the ability to do the aura analysis, when you were talking about clearing and cleaning the chakras, do you suggest running the aura analysis and then using the vibrate feature in the resonance analysis, or do you recommend running specific programs inside the chakra program?
Both. You will do both. It really depends on the level of the imbalance. And just remember, the Healy is assessing the 6-dimensional information. And so because it's done in real time, and because you exist in multiple dimensions, sometimes it's actually giving you a different reading that it's really not really related to you, but you just need to trust it. Vibrate. At the same time, during the day, you can also run your chakras. But again, also based on your own intuition. Somebody else's advice to you can only be their own experience. So be intuitive with how you feel. If you feel a particular tightness on your chest and you feel you are too empathetic towards something and you're taking on other people's pain body, then do the microcurrent using the wristbands. If you are just, lying there saying your decree, doing your rituals, bringing your consciousness into it, you can just vibrate for 24 minutes to your energetic field.
So you're recommending the 24-minute vibration for the chakras, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then there was one other question. Someone posted, I had a hysterectomy in March of last year. I still have my ovaries. How do I rectify this within myself? How do I forgive myself for allowing this to happen?
How do you forgive yourself? You just forgive yourself by saying that I did not know any better. So I gave my power away to other people. So I have gave away my uterus for whatever reason. But what happened is that the reason why you did it is because you did not know any better. You did not get into the level of consciousness that it doesn't matter what disease you have. You actually have the ability to heal yourself if you provide the right environment for it to heal yourself. Remember, you're only 30% gene connected to whatever the gene that you come from. The other 70% based on the epigenetics. The gene will express based on the environment that you expose yourself to. So every 90 days, your cell regenerates itself every 90 days. So you have chance after chance after chance to really heal yourself. Now, if you would have exposed to that knowledge and that wisdom, then you would have worked with the people who look after you like you look after yourself. But because you didn't know, you have kind of like disconnected from yourself, and you saw the endometriosis or fibroids or heavy bleedings as a problem, or as you label it as something, instead of working with the energy as well as the nutrient, as well as the emotions, as well as the spirit. Of course, then you saw it as a tumor, or you saw it as something that you ripped it off. So now you just have to sincerely forgive yourself for being ignorant at that time. And when the uterus got taken out, you still have something called the phantom uterus. The energy of the uterus is always going to be there. It cannot be removed from your energetic field. Right? So the phantom uterus is still there. The connection is still there. You still have the ability to perform whatever power you want to perform, because just remember, you are an energy being. The physical body is the last thing. It's the downstream. It's the last thing. So what is done is done. There's no point for you to hold on to that guilt that I have let it go. Many women have let it go. But it's not too late for you to bring back your own awareness and your own connection to it again, because the energetic uterus is still there, and still love it. Still talk to your uterus as if the actual physical uterus is still there. Make sense?
Yeah, amazing. So thank you to each and every one of you for being here, those that were in attendance, and especially to our panelists. We are so thankful for this wealth of wisdom and knowledge that was shared today. I'm definitely going to have my VA create a transcript of this, because I think there's some really important pieces that we'll share with you in writing as well. And, we talked not a ton about 𝗙𝗧 on this webinar, but I think it's really important to just say that, you know, 𝗙𝗧 is what brought us all together here. And we have this incredible gift in 𝗙𝗧 that can help us so much in all areas of our lives. So if you're new to 𝗙𝗧 and you are here on this webinar and you were brought here by somebody who's passionate about 𝗙𝗧, please go back to them and talk to them about the opportunity to get your own personal 𝗙𝗧 device and to share this device with the world. It's so needed in the world right now. There has never been a better time to have this device, to be able to share this device. It really is this incredible tool of elevating the collective consciousness and, you know, becoming our own inner healers, becoming our own inner physicians. And it blows my mind every day. And so if you're here as someone new to 𝗙𝗧, again, go back to that person that invited you to this webinar and talk to them about 𝗙𝗧. And we're going to be doing a series of these webinars that are specific to the needs of certain groups of people. And I know that you know, they'll continue to be valuable, but this was the first one, and I'm like, I don't know how we top this. So
we had goosebumps the whole way through and heads nodding, and literally people are messaging saying this last hour and a half has completely changed their lives. Like, that's the power of, I love how you shared the power of 𝗙𝗧, but this community, once people are in this community, we get access to all these incredible people through this network that have so much wisdom that can take them to that next level of their journey as well. And so, I'm blown away. Yeah. I'm deeply, deeply grateful. So we look forward to next week and continuing this and maybe hearing some more from these incredible women.
Yeah. Yes. And we will be uploading this to YouTube, and we will be sharing the YouTube links with you in both the Quantum Evolution group and in my group, the Quantum Health Infinite Wealth group. So you'll have the YouTube links that you can share there. This has been live streamed into the Quantum Evolution group, so you can definitely tag people if you're already in that group. We will also be posting the replay link to this in the event group. So it'll be in all the places for you to be able to access it. And please share it. You know, the one thing I think that you can do to give back for this incredible wisdom and knowledge that you've gained today is to share this webinar with more women that might need it. And somebody actually brought up that they felt like men really needed this information as well. Yeah. And I absolutely think that's true. So don't only just share it with women, but share it with men as well. And I think there could be a whole other webinar on men's hormonal imbalance, because that is a huge topic as well. We just felt really passionate about the women's one, so we jumped on it. But we'll definitely look at doing a men's one as well. So that's it. Have an amazing rest of your day, morning, evening, wherever you are in the world as you are watching this webinar or you're watching the replay. And just thank you so much for being here.